So your experience of being a reporter in war zones, I mean, how has that helped in this past year? Has it helped you to tell
No,
us all about it?
not at all. Uh,
Okay.
so interesting because, as you know, I am working on a second book, which is about fear, anxiety, and
Okay. Yeah.
my provisional title is Fear hyphen less, because that means both fearless, and I would love to use that image on the cover because the irony is I look so brave in that image in a way, don't I? I've got the
You
soldiers, I'm on
do,
the
yeah.
horse, and I've got the flak jacket on,
Yeah.
and I was very kind of fearless, but in a sort of what Brené Brown would say, this difference between a sort of bravado. I had so much bravado. Admittedly, I was in my 20s when many people are. I think you feel a bit more invincible. But I never, well, not never, I rarely felt scared. I loved all my war experiences because I was usually with rebel armies. And I mean, it sounds awful, but I loved that. I loved doing that. But at the same time, everything I wrote about in my first book, The Curse of Lovely, like people pleasing and being afraid to say no, being afraid to kind of speak my truth, that that is real courage. And that's my ongoing journey. So what I kind of love about that is the juxtaposition of what appears to be such bravery, like the ultimate bravery of going to wars, but actually even at that time, I probably wouldn't, you know, stand up to difficult people in my life.
Gosh, wow. So in that situation, you felt, I mean, did you feel fear when you were in those?
Sometimes, yes. I mean, I have
Mm,
been in places with, in fact, in that very situation, that was the Sandinista War in Nicaragua in the mid 80s.
yeah.
And when we went out with those troops, they got lost in the jungle. I didn't, oh, people love this story, Rebecca. I didn't change my knickers for a week. I couldn't change any of my clothes. People, oh my God, are you the one who didn't change her knickers for a week? But I don't care about stuff like that. But it's the rainy season. We got rained on, soaked to the skin, and then baked in the sun. But none of that mattered to me. And they joked and they said, I couldn't keep up with the soldiers because they were so fitter than me. So they borrowed that horse from a farm for me because I also then could carry the camera gear. That's what's in front of me, the camera. And they joked and said, if we get bombed, you'll be the first to be bombed because you're higher up. And then I was like, oh,
Wow.
okay. But we didn't. Moments like that, I'm a bit frightened. There was a time in Pakistan where it was shooting over our heads. There was kind of gunfire going over a roof we were hiding under, so sheltering under. So, yes, of course, of course. But mostly I was in a position of, I was in my comfort zone because I was being a journalist, which I'd trained to be, and I was with David Bailey, who's replied to my post, who I owned Wildcat Films with. He was a brilliant cameraman, and we were this team, and we were both kind of quite fearless. But it's so interesting. That doesn't make me this brave person because, as in The Curse of Lovely, there's this whole thing where I can't take items back to posh boutiques because I worry the shop assistants will be disapproving. So that is
Right.
the
Yeah.
same person. I tell those stories so that people don't think I'm some kind of, yeah, crazy, super brave woman. I'm human.